So, drawing processes, what are they? So a drawing process is, as the name defines, it's a process where you have a sequence of steps that evaluate objects based on their drawability and the use of scales and prototypes together to produce these drawings. So let's have a look at what is actually a drawing process. So we come to the drawing process manager, which is just below the drawing style manager on the output ribbon, and we load it up. Okay, so we have three areas under the user tree to identify. One is the drawing processes, which is the actual processes you see in the palette. And if we expand this out, if we have a look, we're in assemblies here. If we go to assemblies, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are ticked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are here. Same with parts. You go to parts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the folder structure you see here, where there's ticks, those processes exist inside of the palette. So if we expand the processes out, you will see that every process consists of a main step and additional steps. And this really means that if the main step fails, go on to the next step in the additional steps area. So in some of these processes, there is only one step. So if we have a look at, for example, A3 single, in the main step, you have a step called part A3-single. And if we come down to the process steps area, you'll see here is that part A3 single. Okay, this is exactly the same as what you see here. And this step is telling the system to go and take the selected single parts and one at a time find the single part, a match inside the detail style map. Now the detail style map, if we open it up, is a series of model objects which are connected to a particular drawing style. So basically, if a plate comes in as a selected part, the selected part will come in, it'll pass it to the detail style map, it'll come into here, it'll get down to line 12 and say, use this particular drawing style. If it finds a drawing style in the detail style map, it then comes along and tries to process the part with that drawing style using scales of 1:1, 1:2, 1:5, 1:10 and 1:15 onto the prototype that is specified inside the file name selector. So you can see in here there is a prototype with a file naming convention to produce a drawing, and this particular one produces a drawing with a single sheet output. If one of those scales matches with that particular drawing style for the selected part, the drawing gets created with that prototype and that file naming convention, and then it moves on to the next part. If the step fails and there is additional steps, which in this case there is not, the drawing will get produced using the largest scale in the list. Okay? If we go and have a look at one of the other processes, for example, the A4 to A0 single sheet output, the main step is the A4 process step. So you can see here, we go down to process steps, A4 single, this is the main step. So this is the one it tries first. So the selected plate, selected beam, whatever it may be, gets passed to here. It gets passed to the detail style map where it tries to determine the drawing style to be used. If it finds a drawing style, it will try and process it on 1:1, 1:2, 1:5, 1:10, 1:15 on this particular drawing sheet. Okay, and again you'll notice if you come in here, different prototype, and you have a file naming convention. Now the file naming convention can contain folders, it can contain different tokens. This is a topic for another day. Now in this case, if this one fails, it will go to the following additional steps. In the additional steps dialog box, you can see it says try A3 single first, then A2, then A1 and A0. Worst case scenario, the very last step at a larger scale, it will produce you a drawing. Okay, and each one of these steps all looks the same as this particular step. It just has settings for a particular sheet size, A3, A2, A1. If we look at the AO single, which is the last one, you can see exactly the same settings as before, just the file name prototype is an AO in this case, as opposed to an A1. Alright, hopefully that makes it clear.